Who really invented the telephone? Was it Alexander Graham Bell or Elisha Gray? Find out by the end of this video. Picture this. You're chilling at home, and you need to tell your friend the barbecue's moved to tomorrow. What do? Run to their house? Yell across the street? Or maybe you'd hire someone to pass along the message. Before the telephone, that's exactly what people had to do. Communication was all about shouting, walking long distances, or hoping the town gossip would spread the word for you. Reliable? Not really, but it's all they had. Fast forward to today and it's almost laughable. We just grab our phones, tap a few buttons, and voila, instant connection. Whether it's a text, a call, or even a video chat, it's second nature. But how often do we stop to think, how did this become so normal? How did humanity go from shouting over fences to literally FaceTiming someone on the other side of the planet? Buckle up, because this story's got everything. Brilliant minds, petty rivalries, and a whole lot of trial and error. Let's rewind to 1876. The world was a very different place. Horses ruled the roads. Electricity wasn't in every home. And if you wanted to send a message, you had two options: Morse code via telegraph or good old-fashioned snail mail. Enter Alexander Graham Bell, a man with a passion for sound and a vision for the future. Bell wasn't just a regular inventor, he was also a teacher for the deaf and deeply fascinated by how sound traveled. At the time, the telegraph was cutting edge. But let's face it, communicating through beep, beep, boop was more frustrating than it was practical. Imagine having to decode a simple message like, "Where are my socks?" It's no wonder Bell thought, there's got to be a better way. That's when the idea hit him. What if we could send the actual human voice through wires? A crazy thought for the time, but one that would change everything. Bell didn't work alone, though. Let's talk about Thomas Watson, his assistant, partner, and fellow inventor. Watson was the guy who made Bell's ideas come to life, the unsung hero who probably spent hours twisting wires and thinking, why does this guy keep yelling my name? Together, they experimented endlessly, often failing but never giving up. Their breakthrough moment came when Bell spoke those now famous words, "Mr. Watson, come here, I want to see you." Imagine hearing a voice come out of a machine for the first time. No wires, no messengers, just someone's actual voice. It must have felt like magic. It wasn't just a technological breakthrough, it was the start of a revolution in communication. If Bell had lived in the era of social media, he'd have gone viral instantly. It's our first call ever trending worldwide. But every great invention comes with a side of drama, and the telephone is no exception. Meet Elisha Gray, another inventor who was working on a very similar idea at almost the exact same time. Gray and Bell ended up in a race to the patent office, and Bell got there first, by only a few hours. Just imagine, two guys sprinting to file their patents, both holding blueprints and yelling, "Mine came first." What followed was one of the biggest legal battles of the 19th century. Gray's supporters accused Bell of stealing his ideas, claiming he'd seen Gray's designs and copied them. Bell's team, of course, denied everything. The courtroom drama lasted for years, with each side presenting evidence, counterclaims, and plenty of finger-pointing. In the end, Bell emerged victorious, securing the patent and the title of inventor of the telephone. But even today, some historians wonder, was Gray the true genius behind it all? It's a debate that might never be resolved, like the age-old question, pineapple on pizza, yes or no? Once the legal dust settled, the telephone was ready to take over the world, or at least try. Early telephones were, let's just say, less than user-friendly. They were bulky, heavy, and had a very limited range. And forget about dialing someone directly. You had to go through a switchboard operator. Picture this. You're trying to call someone important, and you have to explain to the operator who you're trying to reach. Awkward, right? It's like asking your mom to deliver a message to your crush. Over time, the technology improved. Rotary phones came along, making it easier, but not much faster, to dial numbers. Then came push-button phones, a game changer that made calling someone feel futuristic. And now, we've got smartphones that do everything: call, text, email, take photos, play games, and even remind you to drink water. If Alexander Graham Bell saw what his invention has become, he'd probably be impressed and slightly confused. Imagine explaining TikTok to him. So, people use your invention to dance, lip sync, and prank their pets. Bell would probably say, "That's not what I had in mind." Here's a fun twist. Alexander Graham Bell, the father of the telephone, refused to have one in his own home. Why? He couldn't stand the sound of it ringing. That's right. The man who gave us the ability to communicate across distances preferred the peace and quiet of face-to-face conversations or letters. Talk about irony, right? Just imagine Bell sitting in his study, deliberately ignoring the very invention that changed the world. And speaking of fun facts, did you know that "hello" wasn't even Bell's idea? He wanted people to answer the phone with "ahoy." Yes, like a pirate. Thankfully, Thomas Edison had other plans. He suggested "hello," which not only became the standard greeting, but also an iconic part of everyday life. Think about it. What would the world sound like if Edison hadn't spoken up? Every phone call might feel like the start of a nautical adventure. Ahoy, matey. But let's not get carried away. Bell's invention wasn't just quirky, it was revolutionary. The telephone didn't just change how we talk, it changed everything. It redefined business, making it possible to close deals from miles away. It shrank the world, turning far-off lands into just a phone call away. And it laid the groundwork for every modern communication tool we use today. Without telephones, there'd be no internet. Without the internet, no memes. Let that sink in for a moment. Bell didn't just invent a device. He ignited a communication revolution that fundamentally reshaped human connection. Now, here's something else to think about. The telephone wasn't an overnight success. It took years of persistence, experiments, and even failures to turn it into the indispensable tool we rely on today. From crude prototypes to the sleek smartphones in our pockets, every innovation owes a little something to Bell's original idea. And that's how the telephone went from an idea to an essential part of our lives. From yelling across fields to chatting with someone on another continent in seconds, it's incredible to think about how far we've come. The next time you're glued to your phone, scrolling through endless cat videos, snapping selfies, or texting your friends, take a second to appreciate the history behind it all. It all started with two guys, some wires, and a whole lot of determination. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the history of the telephone, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe for more fascinating stories about inventions that changed the world. And hey, let us know in the comments, which invention should we explore next? Until then, see you in the next video.